Just a moment.
As we adapt to new ways of working and prepare for future disruption, organisations will see a growing need for skilled project managers. The PMI 2022 Jobs Report showcases emerging sectors and trending industries where project leaders can find opportunities to drive growth and innovation in every region of the globe. Countries in the Asia-Pacific region expect their economies to grow in 2022. Meanwhile, talent is in high demand in many countries and industries. While China's economy has experienced a slight slowdown, a number of factors should contribute to increased project activity, including consumer spending increases and China's energy transition plan. Supply chain disruption and rising energy prices, along with rapid digitalization, are driving an increased demand for project professionals in Europe, especially in IT. The current conflict in the region will have long-term humanitarian and economic consequences that will require response. There has been a spike in demand throughout Latin America for project managers, particularly in the technology and manufacturing sectors. Rebounding oil pricing, government investment in high-profile mega-projects, and international events like Expo 2020 Dubai and the 2022 FIFA World Cup promise to reinvigorate the region's economy and need for project managers. The Great Resignation and supply chain problems have put job seekers in high demand in the US and Canada as companies look toward automation and digitization to protect against future disruption. Despite the pandemic, the global demand for products manufactured in South Asia has continued to increase over the past 2 years. As a result, companies are willing to invest more in project managers with strong innovation and leadership skills. Nearly a third of global aid, roughly $32 billion, is spent in Africa, and that's fueling new development jobs across the region, up to 45% of which will need project talent. The demand for project talent is high around the world. Are you ready to take your career to the next level?
Okay. I hope you enjoyed the video. That is a kind of a encouragement to you to go for this discipline. Project management is in demand all over the world. Whole economy is, kind of supporting the project managers everywhere. So naturally, this is our international certification. This is well recognized globally, and naturally, whatever you are doing, you will benefit from this certification in any case. Okay. What do you see on this slide? This is about PMP exam, but this shows a very interesting diagram on the right-hand side. This is a triangle on which there are 3 vertices, namely ways of working, power skills, and business acumen. This is called the talent triangle, PMI talent triangle. PMI is very good at inventing such tools and such devices, and this is one device with which you can see in which areas you should be proficient in the project management. So it is not enough that you know the technology or the technique of the project management or the method of the project management, how good you are, that is just one vertex that is called the way of working. Whether you're doing it in a traditional project management, predictive manner, or you're doing it in an agile manner, whatever the method you are using, howsoever experienced you are in that area, that only takes care of one vertex of this triangle, and that is not enough, right? Especially for your PMP exam, you can see that the ways of working are, if you can look here, it is about the process of project management, all the processes. So that knowledge will be tested in the exam, and that has a weightage of only 50%. So 50% of exam is about the technology of work, about the way of working, about the processes involved in project management. Rest 50% is about the other two vertices. Second important one is power skills. You will get 42% questions from power skills. What are these power skills? We also call them soft skills, right? Like leadership, conflict management, negotiation, empathy, emotional intelligence, and so on and so forth. So these are people skills. These are those skills which you not only are experiencing only in the project management, but even otherwise. But in project management, these skills become extremely important. And that is exactly why PMI has given it such a high weightage. 42% of your exam questions would be about these power skills. Business acumen, that is the bottom vertex here. And this is about the understanding of business you have, how your project is aligning with the strategy of the organization, how well do you understand the strategic plan of the organization, and how your project is aligned with that strategy, right? So this understanding should be there. Well, it is not enough that you may be doing a wonderful job at your project, but you don't understand how this project is linked to the organizational strategy, how it is going to create value for the organization, how is it going to satisfy the strategic objective, then you are lacking this one important vertex. So, although this has got a little weightage, not much of weightage, 8% of weightage, but naturally, this is just a kind of uh, you should you should have a concept about it, and you must have an understanding about it, and that's why we call it. You must have a business acumen, right? So this is all about the business environment, the strategy, the value generation, and all these things. We'll talk a lot about that. Moreover, as far as the ways of working are concerned, as I have just mentioned, it could be the traditional predictive manner in which you are trying to do a project, or you may be trying to do this project in an adaptive or agile manner, or it could be a combination of both, which we call the hybrid approaches, right? So, no matter what method you are using, they all are included in your ways of working. Actually, PMI gives you a freedom that you can choose on your own which method or which methodology or which approach suits your project well, right? So, decision is yours, but you should have experience in that methodology, and you should know how things happen in that methodology. And I'm here to teach you these things. Second important thing here is the examination content outline. For every certification PMI has, they have developed an examination content outline. This is kind of a list of all the topics which would be tested in the exam, right? It is not a book. It does not provide any explanations. It just gives out the various tasks as a project manager you should be able to do, right? So I would very strongly recommend that you should go to PMI website, that is pmi.org, and download this document. If you don't have that, if you can't download that, tell me, I can share it with you as well. But you see, you can download it from the PMI website. Even if you are not a member, still you can do that, right? You can download this. Actually, you can download a few other documents from there. Actually, you can go to pmi.org, click on certifications, go into the certifications. There you will find a long list of certifications. Go to your required certification, PMP or CAPM, click on that, and a page will open explaining that certification. If you scroll down somewhere in the middle of the screen, middle of the page, you will find these documents. You can download them directly. What are these documents? One is called PMP Handbook or CAPM Handbook. You can download that. I think they have made it a universal kind of a handbook now. It is not exactly called a PMP Handbook anymore. It is called PMI Certification Handbook. That includes the guideline for all types of certification, whether it is PMP, CAPM, or any other certification by PMI. So you can download that PMI Certification Handbook. Second, you must download this document, which is very important, PMP Exam Content Outline. Keep it handy with you because you see, all the questions you are going to get in the exam, the people who are making those questions, who are framing those questions, they are instructed to, seek guidance from the exam content outline. So basically, they look at the exam content outline and from there they create questions, right? And if somebody tells you that your questions are from PMI standards, well, they are, but they are not necessarily from there. These examiners can create a question from the standard or even from anywhere else, any other book in the market. They could find a question from there relevant to the ECO, exam content outline. So don't only rely on the fact that you can study the standard of PMI and you can pass the exam. You may get a very strange question, which is nowhere to be answer to which is nowhere to be found in the PMBOK. But anyways, I don't want to put you off on that. I must ensure you that the standard given by PMI covers almost everything. Almost everything. 80 to 90% material is very well coordinated, and this is what is going to be tested. So yes, you can rely on that, but I'm just giving you a word of caution that all the questions may not be coming from the standard, right? Okay. As far as the examination content outline is concerned, our course is tailored around that. Whatever the capabilities they are trying to test, we are going to work on them. We will teach you each one of those capabilities and tasks which you should be able to do as a project manager. And this course is tailored around that. And you will find that at the end of every topic, we will discuss that which elements of examination content outline we have covered so far, right? So if you can open up the ECO book and you can read it out carefully all by yourself, you will find it very interesting. But although it may be the language may be a little difficult because that is a lot of material they're talking about in every task. So you must underline those items. Okay, I need to understand the analysis and feasibility and this and that. You can underline all those things and then ensure that when you are preparing, you have actually gone through everything. Nothing should remain strange to you. Everything you must prepare, which is given in the ECO. And then I can assure you, nothing can stop you from passing the PMP exam or the CAPM exam. Well, as I said, CAPM exam is much simpler. PMP is a little more difficult. But once we will be teaching you this course, CAPM will be very easy for you, right? Because we will not leave anything to chance. Okay, as far as the application process for the PMP exam is concerned, that is called eligibility application. You have to apply online. You can go to, again, the same place, the PMI website, certifications, PMP, and on the same page of PMP, somewhere you will find a button saying apply now. And if you click on that button, your application process will start, right? So you can start filling your application even now. You can do it immediately after this course, but I will explain it to you. It is not something you can do in just 5 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes because there's a lot of data they're asking. It's a multi-page form, multi-screen form, and you may have to fill in your certain dates of your working on various appointments, and then maybe the project you have done, some details about that. You may not have all that handy. So naturally, PMI has provided that you can always save whatever is there in the application, and you can leave. You can come back after 1 or 2 days and again filling the things from there. Naturally, you would know what data you need. You will collect that data and you will bring that along, and then it will be easy for you to fill that. Moreover, in the application, there are certain places where you have to provide a little bit of description, maybe of the project. So you can write in English whatever you have been doing in the project, but I will provide you guidance how to frame that. There will be a limitation of words. For example, it says you should not write more than 500 words and less than 200 words. So your script, which you will write there, would be between 200 to 500 words. So I would very strongly suggest, rather than thinking and writing right there, you should write it in your word processor, and tweak it properly, no errors, no mistakes, and then you can cut and paste it into those columns, right? Okay.
Suhail.
Yes, please.
With these descriptions and all the information that we have to provide here, it is required that we attach some evidences or like certificates or, I don't know, job letter or something?
Not yet, not yet. You are not supposed to be sending anything at this stage, but if PMI would like certain clarifications, they will ask you, and then you will have to provide those things, right? And by the way, they don't need your experience letters or things like that, because with every experience, they're asking where you have been working, who was your boss, what is his phone number, what is his email, and they can directly get in touch with that person, and they don't need any certificates, any experience certificates. As far as the certificates of training are concerned, yes, they will ask for it if they like. Otherwise, they will not ask you, because you are getting trained with us. We are PMI authorized training partners, and whoever is trained by us, PMI is directly informed that we have provided this training and we have issued a certificate. They will not even ask you for a certificate at all. Rather, your eligibility application acceptance process will be escalated, right? So it is assumed that if you are studying with us, you must have fulfilled all that criteria. So it will be a light weight kind of audit on you. Rather, there is no audit for you. I suppose.
Got it. Thanks.
So when can you start doing that? When can you submit your application? Well, I told you that this application can take a couple of days to complete. So you should not submit it until you have completed this course, because you won't have 35 hours of training till that point, right? So therefore, wait for the course to end, and from my side, you can submit your application on the very next day. But you should start filling it right now, right? In these 4 weeks, you can, keep filling little bit pieces and all. And if you are ready by the end of the course, in the last 1 or 2 lectures, you can show me your application, and I can comment on that. I can correct certain things, or things like that. But even if you don't submit your application during this class or after this class, and you take longer time, I am still available, and you can always WhatsApp me or contact me by email and tell me that I have just completed my application. I want you to review it, right? There are two ways of doing that. One is once your application is complete, you have an option to save a PDF copy of that, but with you do not have to submit. If you submit it, then I can't do anything. Don't submit the application, but before submitting the application, you can download a PDF copy of all your application and send it to me, and I can review that. The second way of doing it is that if you naturally you will be a member of PMI, you should be a member of PMI. I will emphasize on that because although anyone can appear for PMP exam, whether they are a PMI member or not, but you see there is a difference. Those who are not members of PMI, they will have to pay more for the exam rather than the PMI members. For example, if the fee is $555 for non-members, for members it is just $405, right? So you must acquire your PMI membership. The procedure would be you go to the PMI website, first of all, register yourself on the site. That doesn't make you a member, but at least you will create a login on pmi.org. After you have a login, you can click on the membership and apply for the membership, right? You will have to pay $129 per year for the membership. But for the first time when you do that, they will take $139, $10 extra for registration purposes. So for the very first time, $139. So, and the PMP exam will cost you $405. So if you add $139 to $405, it is still a little less than $555, which they are charging the non-members, right? But anyways, that is not the point. But basically, thing is, the benefits which you will get due to membership, they are enormous. They're enormous, right? So I would very strongly recommend that you should become a PMI member and maintain your yearly membership and reap as many benefits from it as possible. I did my PMP back in 2000. And till today, I am renewing it. I have never let it pass. I have renewed all my certifications in the process. And, I have been a continuous regular member of PMI. I've been paying all this fee, but I must tell you, I have benefited more than what I have paid to the PMI till date. Right? So, yes, you must benefit from it. After you complete your PMP exam, you can submit your application, but there is a caveat. Here, number 2 point is submit your application, and number 3 point is get your PMI membership. I would like to reverse that. I would say first get your PMI membership, then apply for the PMP exam, because if you submit your application as a non-member, they will charge you $555, right? They will lock it on that. So better become a member first and then submit your application. And you can become a member right now, right? You can do that. Once your application is submitted, naturally it will go into the process. PMI will get back to you. Normally within next 5 days, they will let you know whether your application is all right or not. And by that, I mean that if there are any major errors in your application, you missed out something, you did not explain things in the right manner or something, so they can get back to you and ask you to correct your application. They will open your application again, and you can then correct anything which was wrong in your application. But generally speaking, this will never happen because it is an automated application, and if you are trying to fill in a wrong data, most of the time there is an automated check, and they will tell you that, okay, this date cannot be a century old. You can't put a date which is of the last century, right? So you can't usually commit such kind of mistakes. The most of the mistakes you can commit in where you are writing the script, right? what I have been doing and this and that, 200 to 500 words. There you could commit certain mistakes, and if there are some major mistakes, only then they will get in touch with you. Okay. Uh, so you have got your PMI membership, your application has been submitted. Now you can start preparing. How much time do you need to prepare for this certification? Uh, if you are good enough, you're an intelligent person, you have experience, you're an experienced project manager, I suppose 1 month is more than sufficient for you to prepare for the exam. But naturally, people procrastinate, people may get lazy. So you can take up to 3 months. But I would suggest for the minimum time you take, 1 month is more than enough. You are fresh from the course, and within 1 month after the course ends, if you can appear in the exam, that would be just wonderful. Then PMI, when they approve your application, they will send you an email, and with that email, they will send you instructions how you can pay your fee. That is the point when you are going to pay your fee, right? And after you have paid your fee, you then are allowed to schedule your exam, and this is your choice where you want to appear, and at what time slot you want to appear. There is no conventional time that this exam will start at this time and that time. These exams are conducted by VUE, Virtual University Enterprise, which is a global thing where their centers are everywhere in the world. So somewhere near you, there will be a view center. So you can go to the PMI will provide you a link to the view website, and you can go there after you have made the payment, and you can log in with your whatever PMI login they will provide you a login detail for that. You can log into the view website, and you can book your exam all by yourself, right? You will say, okay, I want to appear in the exam in maybe the November month of November 2024. So our calendar of 2024 will come, November 2024 will come in front of you, and you can see if there are any slots available. And these slots could be maybe in the morning, in the evening. You could choose your own slot, right? I generally suggest that you should take on the first slot, which is in the morning, because usually we are very fresh in the morning. So that is a good time to sit in the exam. But some people prefer to go late, go in the evening for the exam. So that is also possible. But you can only appear in working days in a center, only on working days, in working hours, right? So that's why you cannot have this exam at night or something like that. But PMI has provided another option, and that is they also have online exam facility. You can opt for that. In that case, you would be appearing from the comfort of your home at time of your choosing, right? Naturally, this exam will also be taken by VUE. VU will administer that exam, and they will watch you, they will monitor you while you are writing the exam. Your camera will be on, your speaker will be on, and their invigilator would be watching you all the time, right? And they can interrupt you as well. That why are you whispering? Why are you talking? Please don't do that. Keep your camera on, things like that. But generally, they do not intercept. They do not disturb you while you are appearing in the exam. But if there is something serious, something wrong you're doing, maybe if you're trying to cheat or something, and they notice that, they will object to that. They can cancel your exam as well. Moreover, before the exam starts, they will ask you to show your identity and all those ID documents in front of the camera. Also, send them a scanned copy of that, all those identity documents, and based on that, they will approve that you are the same person who is supposed to be sitting in the exam, right? And then they will also ask you to move the camera around the room and show how the room is styled, how what is lying in the room. You are not supposed to be keeping any books or any papers or anything in the room. You should have your computer. You should show them that this is my computer and this is how I'm going to be sitting. There should be only one entrance to the room, and entrance should be at the back, at your back, right? You should be sitting in front of the door, right? As if they can watch if someone is coming in or getting out of the room, right? So nobody should be coming in your room while you're sitting in the exam. And naturally, they have got their own instructions. They will tell you all about that. But I'm just telling you that you can appear in these exams online as well. Okay, then you will sit in your exam wherever, whether it is online or it is in the center, view center. The exam will be 3 hours and 40 minutes. You will have a break in the exam as well, which I'll talk later. After you have completed your exam, you will be immediately, in a couple of minutes, you will be told whether you have passed or failed. You will get that information before PMI has that information. So you will know that you have passed or you have failed. But they will not provide you any percentage, that this much percentage you got in this area and that percentage in that area. So they will not go into that detail. The only one thing they will tell you is whether you have passed and whether or you have failed. In case you fail, they will provide you a list of areas in which you have not performed well. But again, they will not tell you how many answers you have answered correct or wrong. That's done. If you pass the exam, naturally, then from that point onwards, you become a project management professional or certified associate in project management, in your case, Alexandra. You are supposed to maintain this certification. This certification, this title has been granted to you for 3 years only. Now you're supposed to renew after every 3 years, and the renewal is not to appear in the exam again, not at all. You can fulfill certain conditions, and that is you have to fulfill 60 PDUs for PMP, and I suppose, if I'm not wrong, for CAPM, you have to complete 15 PDUs, only 15 PDUs in 3 years. 60 PDUs for PMP, right? Now, PDU, what is a PDU? PDU is a professional development unit, and this is generally equivalent to 1 hour of training. One PDU is equivalent to 1 hour of training. Like you are getting 35 hours of training from us. So in a way, you are getting 35 PDUs. But PDUs, we don't give PDUs to non-PMPs or non-certified people, because PDUs are of no use to you. So what we call these hours, we call them hours of training, you can call it, but I'm exactly forgetting exact word what they use for it. But this is not called PDUs. PDU can only be achieved after you have acquired a certification. Then you are supposed to attend various sessions, trainings, or whatever, but advanced trainings, not the same training time and again. You can't attend the PMP training again and claim another 35 PDUs. No, you can't do that. You have to attend some better training, some latest training, and that's how you are going to get it. So anyways, you complete your 60 PDUs in the next 3 years, and there is a fee also for the renewal of your certification, I think that is, if you are not a member at that point, you have to pay $150 US dollars. And if you are a member, you just have to pay $60. So it is always good to maintain your PMP membership always and all the time, and try to take maximum advantage from there. The material which Dr. Faz is going to send you, or which he might have sent you already, would be containing of these things. First, you will get a student workbook. This would have the presentation slide as well as the description of everything. This is a kind of notes in it, right? So everything we discuss here, all the notes are there already written for you, and this is in the student workbook. Class handouts is a PDF of the presentation slides. Then the reference material, you can, if you are a member of PMI, you can download all of the standards of PMI free of cost. But otherwise, they're quite expensive. The online copy you can download as a member. If you are a member, you have paid for your membership, you are allowed to download any standard of PMI. What standards matter for you for your certification? Number one, the core PMI standard, which is called a guide to the project management body of knowledge. This one, can you see that? This is the book you have to download. A guide to the project management body of knowledge. In short, we call it PMBOK guide. And this is the 7th edition. The latest one is the 7th edition. This is how your book will look like. This is your core reference. Core reference. But you also need to have other references, like, you may like to go through a practice guide, which is the process groups practice guide. This is dedicatedly talking about the predictive, the further details about predictive project management in a lot more detail than what PMBOK is discussing. So if you want to be sure about your traditional project management method, then probably you have to reference this book and this standard, and you can download this as well. Then specific to Agile, there is a practice guide, Agile practice guide. This is also PMI standard, so you can also download that. So probably these 3 books are more than enough, but naturally, if you like to read other books, get the reference of other books, it's always good to do, but naturally you don't have a lot of time. But at least you should download these three standards from PMI website and try to read them out. The 6th reference is the simulation exam, the practice exams, which will be provided by Dr. Faz Rasool. He will provide you a link through which you can go to his Moodle PM training site, and there you can. There are a lot many exams there of PMP and CAPM also, and you can go there. You can select the exam. They are full length exam. They are chapter exam. There are a lot many questions. There's a good preparation can be done by attempting those simulated questions, right? But I would very strongly recommend and suggest that you should do those questions only after you have done your study, you have understood everything, then you start attempting the question. At most, if you want to attempt, for example, if you have completed 1 chapter of the book and you want to be tested only for that, then there are chapter questions, chapter exams are there in the simulator. You can take up those exams and that will give you a good idea how well are you doing. But actually, try to do all the questions later in the last week of the exam. Because that would be the point when you are fully prepared, you have studied everything, and now you are, kind of gaining experience in how to attempt the question. And if you get some questions wrong, then you should carefully go back to your books and try to find out what did you do wrong, especially those questions you attempt wrong in your simulation exams. Anyways, this is what you will get. These are the resources. You will also get a link from PMI. PMI will also send you an email, and these some references will be sent to you from there as well. As far as your application is concerned, naturally it's a multi-page of application. Multi-pages. First page of the application would ask you about your personal details, who are you, your date of birth, and this and that. Second page will ask you about the educational experiences you have, your education, your qualification, and all. Then they will ask you about your experiences. So every project experience, whether it is 1 month long or 20 years long, every experience has to be specifically put down in this format. Like you see on this, it asks you for a project title. It asks you for organization for which you are working. It then asks you your job title on that project, your functional reporting area, and there is a pull down menu. You can select you are from marketing or which department, and organizational primary focus. Is it a construction related project or IT related project or what? Then it asks you which methodology did you use for that project. Was it predictive? Was it adaptive? Was it whichever, hybrid or whatever? Then how big was your team? They will have pull down menu, have many options, maybe less than 10 people, 10 to 14 people, 14 to 20 people or something like that. Or it may be up to hundreds of people. So you pick the right choice, and then it asks you about the budget. Again, there are some ranges given there in the pull down menu. You select the appropriate one. Project start date and finish date, not exactly the date, but month and the year. You have to provide for the start and end of your project. And if the project is still ongoing, you will not provide the finish date and you will just click here. In progress. That means the project is not yet complete. It is in progress. We are working on it. So till today, your experience will be counted for that project, right? And then once you have done that, maybe this is a 3 months experience, then you fill a similar form again for another project, yet another project, until your 36 hours are complete. As soon as PMI confirms that your 36 hours condition has been fulfilled, you can move on, right? What you have to write in the project description, people have a tendency to write everything about the project, or either they write too long or they write too short. So they have put a limit. You cannot write less than 200 words and you cannot write more than 500 words. So between 200 and 500 words, you have to explain what you did in project. And basically what they want is how did you start the project? What was the objective of the project? So generally, Dr. Faz has provided this sample for you. And in this sample, you should put headings and paragraphs and like things are well organized and try to address them one by one. For example, what was the objective of the project? Like, implement new call center software to increase operational efficiency. What was your role? I led a team of 6 internal team members and 2 contractors from start till finish. Deliverables, and so on and so forth. Methodology, what methodology did you use? Very briefly, don't write thesis on that. Very briefly, a bit, 2-3 sentences about everything. And where it is not required to write a lot, then 1 sentence is more than enough. So methodology, starting the project, what you have done regarding starting the project, planning the project, doing the work, closing the project, and then what were the outcomes? What were the outcomes of the project, right? So this sample could be handy, could be very useful for you. You can tailor it according to your project, and you can fill these details into this form at this place in the project description. and you save experience. So maybe you save one experience today, and then next day you sit down again, so you can start filling the next experience from that point on, right? Once your
Suhail,
application
question.
is complete and you have shown it to me or someone for checking purposes, and you are now sure that it is all right to submit, only then press the submit button. Do not press the submit button in a hurry, right? So submit button is, maybe your application is incomplete and you press the submit button. That would be too disastrous. Anyways, so this was this. Some of the people will get the audit. That means as I said, your certificates may have to be checked, your other project experiences may have to be checked. Now, this does not happen like, you have done something wrong or there is something wrong in your application. That is not the reason. Actually, 10% of applications are picked by computer automatically for audit purposes at random. So you may have been picked out for the audit, and you will receive an email. Congratulations, you have been selected for audit. So please provide these details and all that. So this is the transcript form which will be provided against every experience. So if you have shown 5 projects, so you will be sent 5 forms, and you will be sent these forms through a PDF file by email. So you can, get these filled from the people you have referred to. Like, if you have referred that your supervisor in that project or your in charge was Mr. XYZ, and you have provided his phone number and email details as well. So you can go back to that person and ask him to fill this form for you. Once all the forms are filled, they could be previously we used to send them by post, by courier. But now I have heard that PMI has allowed the online submission as well. So in that case, you may have to scan those forms and submit them, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they have made the whole auditing process automated. In that case, the person who would be filling the audit could maybe they could submit it directly to the PMI. I don't know, right? So what is the latest? I am not really very sure about, but that is how the audit is conducted. You will, whatever documents you are supposed to send, maybe you have to send the certificate of this training, or maybe you have to send some kind of a note from your organization where you have served, that this person has served with us, or from your university. So all such documents will be scanned and sent to PMI in a package, right? And maybe in a PDF format or whatever. And once they receive them, after that, they will take another 4 to 5 days, and then will tell you whether your audit has been successful or not. Generally, all the audits do get successful, but there are exceptions. I have seen one case in Iran where there was a lady who contacted me and asked me that why my audit was rejected. I said, show me your document. You must have done something wrong. And once I saw all her documents, I found that she had lied in her application very blatantly. It was quite imminent that whatever she is saying is fabricated. That is exactly why her application was audited and rejected. Anyways, that doesn't happen to anyone. I have not seen any other person whose audit has been rejected. Okay, let's move on to the exam format. You will have 180 questions in your exam and 230 minutes to complete the exam. 10 minutes are also available to you for 2 optional breaks, right? So you cannot take more than 10 minutes break. You can split it into 5 minutes breaks or you can avail a one single 10-minute break. I think one single 10-minute break would be better. Not exactly in the center of the exam, but PMI will suggest to take a break. That probably, I think, when you have done about 60% of your exam, 60% questions you have attempted, PMI will suggest that you take a break. And once you take a break, you have to submit all these exams, meaning that you can't review your questions which after the break. These questions you will submit to PMI and they will no more be in your control. After the break, you will be presented with the remaining questions only, and you can review only those. So before going to the break, please spend a little time in reviewing all those questions you have already attempted, as if to ensure that whatever you are submitting is all right with you, right? Don't do it in a hurry. Questions could be in many formats. They could be multiple choice, multiple response, matching choices, hotspot questions, fill in the blanks. Rather, these are the various formats. There could be a true-false question, multiple choice where only one answer is correct, multiple response where more than one answer may be correct, drag and drop. I hope you understand what is drag and drop. Kelvin?
Drag and drop.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose it's by the time that you have multiple options, and
Yeah,
you just
you
have
can
to
click on one
click the
choice
one and you
and
drag
drag
it
it
into the
to
right box, and that's it.
exactly. Maybe to the right box or whatever.
Yeah.
Then there could be fill in the blanks also, and there could be hotspot question. I will show you examples of each one of these. True, false, I have already shown you, like yes or no, true or false answer. We have already been doing that. This is a sample of a multiple choice. So, multiple choice will be presented like this with these rounded buttons, and you can click only one of them at any one time. For example, if you click here and there is a black dot appears in it, that means it is selected. But if you then click B, then this dot will be removed from C and it will start showing here. So at any one point in time, you can only choose one option, only one option, right? So what is your right answer here? Which of the following is a financial tool that calculates the present value of all cash flows minus the present value of all cash inflows? These are the options: internal rate of return, net present value, benefit cost value, and return on investment. Which is the right answer?
B, net
Yes,
present value.
yes, Kevin?
Option B, net present value.
Okay. What about you, Fatma?
I think benefit cost value.
Which one?
That option C.
C. And
Yes.
Alexandra?
Option B, net present value.
Okay, good. Well, the question is quite apparent. It is talking about the present value of all cash inflows, and that could only be in the net present value, right? So B is the correct answer, right? Okay, let's look at another question. This is a multiple response question. In a multiple response question, it is generally at the end of the question in brackets, it would be written, how many choices can you tick? Right? So it says tick 3 or choose 3. Question is, PMI talent triangle reflects the skills needed for project management. Which 3 of the following are those skills? What do you say?
A, B, C.
ABC, good. And D, quality was nowhere to be seen. The ABC, so it will look like something like this. This is the drag and drop. Kelvin, can you see that? On the left-hand side, there are certain processes of stakeholder management. On the right-hand side, there are certain process groups. You have to drag these processes to the yellow area next to the process groups. For example, if something has to come here, that must relate with planning. So you tell me where the identify stakeholders will go. Fatma?
Sorry,
Where the identify stakeholders will be moved to next to
to
what?
planning, to planning.
Planning, okay. Alexandra, what do you think?
I agree.
And Calvin?
Yeah, I'm hesitating with initiating. But yeah, planning as
Initiating
well.
is the correct answer. I will teach you later. Naturally, we have not taught you anything so far, so you may not be knowing things. But this is not planning. This is happening during the initiation,
Yeah.
right? So this will move here. Let me show you how these things are moved. This moves to initiation, monitor moves to monitoring and control, manage moves to execution, plan moves to planning, and control also moves to the monitoring and control. Got it? This is called drag and drop questions. Then the fill in the blank questions, you could have a single blank space in the line in the statement, or they could be more than one. They could be 1, 2, or 3. Maximum 2 or 3. So, but these are very easy questions basically, but you should have studied the standard because it does not provide you various options to pick from. You have to pick the right word to write here. So it says predictive projects are dash, while adaptive projects focus on team collaboration with stakeholders or customer. What would you imagine the word should be coming here in the blank? I know you can't really guess it because it should be exactly the right word. If you misspell it or you write another word, it will be considered by PMI as wrong. So you have to be extra careful in choosing that word. And for that, I would suggest that you should read the PMB OK, because these fill in the blanks are primarily from the standard. So the answer here is plan-driven. Predictive is plan-driven and agile is change-driven. This is a hotspot question where you are presented with a diagram or something in which on that diagram there would be a question written on top, and on that diagram there would be a couple of sensitive hyperlinks, right? Like A area, B area, C area, and D area. Only the correct answer would be any one of these areas. So you have to go and click on that. Maybe this is the correct answer. Maybe this is the correct answer. You click here, right? So it is not always going to be this kind of graph. This could be something else. This could be a kind of a SWOT analysis chart or some other tool, some other chart, some other graph, or something else. But it would be diagrammatical in nature, and you have to click on a sensitive area, which is we think is the correct answer. For example, in this case, I might be going like this. I have picked this, and this is supposed to be the right answer. So these are the types of questions we have. What is the content are we going to cover? This was just lesson number 0. In here, we did not talk a lot about things. We just introduced you to PMP and your exam pattern and things like that. We are to cover 6 lessons. Some are very long lessons, some are short lessons. Last lesson, lesson number 6, is very short. First lesson is quite lengthy. Second lesson, probably, they are average lessons, but, some are lengthy, some are not really very lengthy. 6 lessons, and this is the pattern we are going to follow. Lesson number 1 is business environment, which will take care completely about the business acumen vertice. 8% of questions will be completely covered through lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is about starting the project. Here, normally you are mostly you will be using the power skills, right? Power skills meaning you are gathering the team, you are negotiating, you're doing the management within the team and all that. To start the project and support the project team, these are 2 places where a lot of power skills are used, and a little bit of power skills are used here in lesson number 4, lead the team also. But plan the project and lead the team, 3 and 4 lesson are mostly about the ways of working. And last lesson is closing the project RD phase. So these are the 6 lessons we will be covering. Some things about this course, because these presentation slides are being provided by PMI, so they have been created by them. There is certain convention used in these slides. These are the symbols you will find on your slides. On the left-hand side, left bottom of your slide, if you see a sign like this is a sign of a predictive project. That means that this slide is specifically for a predictive project and does not apply to adaptive or hybrid kind of project. If you find this sign, this is a hybrid project. This sign represents an adaptive project. If you see 2 of these signs together on a slide, that means that the matter on the slide applies to the 2 of these areas, this and this. So whichever are shown there, and there might be a slide where all 3 are there. That means this slide applies to all 3 areas. Then there are other icons. If a slide is important, you will find this mark. If this slide needs interaction by you, some discussion among the students, that would show this sign. If this slide represents some kind of expert judgment, that would be, denoted by this sign. If that slide is discussing some kind of tool or technique, then this spanner sign would be shown. If there is a question on the slide, then a question mark in a circle, this will be shown. If we need to launch a discussion among the students, so in that slide, the questions would be written on that, and the discussion questions, and a symbol would be that this must be discussed among the students. And this sign needs that you have to make a note. This is something you may like to note down in your notebook. So these are the symbols, but there is yet another thing. Some of the slides you will find will have this kind of book on the left corner. This is called definition slider. If there is a new term used in the slide and that term needs to be defined, then you can go here, click on it, and a window will open which will give you that definition. You can click again, it goes back. You can again bring it, you can again send it back. And the item for which the definition is being provided would be shown as a highlighted blue text in the matter of the slide. During this course, we will be on and off, we will be discussing a hypothetical case study, and that is Shoppe Industries Lifestyle Center. So they are trying to construct a Shoppes Industries Lifestyle Center. We will introduce this fictional story to you later. In short, we will call it SLC. Please do not confuse it with software term, software life cycle or something like that. So it is not that, it is Lifestyle Center. This guy on the left-hand side with spectacles, this is your project manager. His name is Ang Fen. And you have to interact with him and the project team and the stakeholders to resolve their issues. So they will be presenting many issues and problems during during this course, and you will be supposed to sort that out. This brings me to the end of this lesson. Any questions? We completed lesson number 0. So
far so good. So far so good.
So far so good, right? Okay, we can have a little break and then I can start with the lesson number 2 because lesson number 1 is quite lengthy and we won't even be able to finish it tomorrow. So we start now, do a bit tomorrow, and maybe it can extend to day after and so on. So is it all right if we take a little break? Okay.
Okay.
We have a 5-minute break and then we will get back after 5 minutes. Thank you very much
Right.
and take care. See you again. Okay, are you back?
Yes, we are here.
Okay.
Yes.
Good, good. Okay, I just thought that we should not start lesson number one today. We just have a couple of minutes left. So I would rather like to, for the benefit of Alexandra, I would like to show her the introduction slides for the CAPM, right? And you people can also enjoy in the meanwhile. But you see, I have already told you CAPM is a much lighter certification. So that exam prep course, though we are not conducting exactly like that, but I'm going to show the overview of the course to you. Well, this is all games. I'll skip these slides. Okay. In this session, we will talk about what is a project, what is project management, what is PMI, what is CAPM, all about the CAPM credential, and what makes this course different, and what is the problem. So the course content, we have got 12 lessons for CAPM, very small little lessons, 12 lessons. First one is this presentation, becoming a certified CAPM, right? So this lesson is about that. Second lesson is about project environment, and we will anyways be discussing there in lesson number one of PMP, and value delivery, that is in lesson number two of PMP. Then organizing for project performance, development approaches and life cycle. All of these topics are covered there in those lessons of PMP. So don't bother. They're covered in much more detail. But anyways, the CAPM course outline is like that. Session 5 is about planning, project work and delivery. Section 6 is project work and delivery. 7 is 5 is about predictive. 7 is about adaptive, and 8 is the overview of adaptive frameworks. 9 is measurement, tracking and managing uncertainty. 10 is business analysis framework. Now they have provided a little bit two lessons specifically for business analysis, which we generally do not discuss in PMP course. But if you like, I can go through these two lessons in front of you. And lastly, putting it all together, right? This is what the course content is. Okay, this is the convention which we have already discussed, almost the same science, important tools, interactive and all that. Before we start, okay, an overview of project management. Now, it is giving you how the projects look like, which of these are projects. Okay, it is too childish. These slides are too childish, but you see, they are for the junior people, right? Like you see, these are three things. Which of these are project? What do you think, Alexandra?
The last one, the package delivery company route.
Package delivery company route. Is it a project? And homework assignment is not a project.
No.
And downloading a playlist is not a project.
No.
Why do you think package delivery on a company route is a project?
Because it has something, it's a beginning and an end, and it delivers something at the end, like it creates a product or a service or a result.
Mm-hmm. But don't you think this is a routine job? This is operations.
Yeah.
Operations projects.
Sorry?
What do you think, Fatma? Which of these are a project? You see, a project is something which is like a challenge, which is like a surprise, which is something we are doing new, which has a certain start point and certain end point. That job will finish after we have done it. So homework will finish after we have done
Yeah.
it, right?
I think,
Homework is a
yeah, I
project.
think all of them are projects in in their own terms and content,
Hmm.
because all of them has to be started from somewhere and has to be end somewhere, and they have to produce some results.
And what about the download a playlist? Isn't it a project as well?
I think yes, all of them are a projects.
Not all of them. The last one is not. Last one is operation,
Oh, okay.
right?
So
Package delivery on a company route. That happens all the time. That is a routine, right? But downloading a playlist, maybe you are downloading playlist all the time, but this download of a playlist is kind of enticing. It is challenge. Should I do it? I should not do it. So that kind of thing. So downloading a playlist can also be considered a project. But the best option I would say is homework assignment. Homework assignment is unique. What is project management? You see, this is the definition of the project management, which we will be discussing in PMP course as well. But this is the standard definition. But we will compare this definition with the latest definition, latest, what do you call that? Latest version of the definition. But anyways, the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirement. That is the basic definition of project management, which was given by PMI back in 1969, and it is still valid, right? Anyways, who is this PMI? PMI is Project Management Institute, the leading professional association for project management and the authority for growing global community of millions of project professionals and individuals who use project management skills, right? But you see, I don't know you realize it or not. This is a great pride to be the part of community of PMI. It's really a great pride. They are professionals. They are great people. They are doing a great job. Not only the PMI, but all its members. When I suppose if you can somehow take an opportunity and go to attend one of the global congresses they have, you will be amazed that the level of knowledge, the level of professionalism, the things discussed there, that is out of the world experience. I have attended many. I have also spoken on many events there. I have conducted many sessions. I had been a regular Congress speaker with PMI for a couple of years. For last couple of years, I did not go to any meeting. The last time I visited was back in 2015. Since then, I have not gone there, but I had been a very regular speaker with PMI. So I suppose you will be falling in love with PMI if you visit one of their congresses.
Suhail,
Uh,
sorry, may I have
yes,
a question?
yeah.
The agile methodology.
Hmm?
Like, in the past, it wasn't somehow supported by the PMI, or it
Of
was.
course, of course it is. Of course it is. Actually, with this new edition, seventh edition, that has taken an equal footing as compared to the traditional one.
Yeah, yeah, because I think the purists in the past tend to say agile is for small projects, PMI for a proper one with a full life cycle and all this. But right now, because I was checking your slide, the learning resources, and it says, yeah, there's something supported by PMI with the agile practice guide.
Of
Sorry.
course, of course, of course. That is exactly
Okay.
why I've shown you the Agile book.
Okay.
Okay, as far as the CAPM certification is concerned, naturally, this is an essential step in building a career. So this is for the associate level people who do not have required level of uh, training or hours of experience. So CAPM is something which can be done by anyone who has at max 1.5 year experience or even no experience at all. If you're fresh from the university, and you want to do CAPM, you can do that, right? So CAPM is much easier, much simpler, and it's a very easy exam. Don't worry, you will easily pass this exam. Very easily pass this exam. It can also aid you in pursuing many of our major certifications, including Gold Standard Project Management Certification (PM). PMP is the price. PMP is a gold standard for PMI, right? So naturally, if you do your CAPM, you are on the path to PMP ultimately. And those of you who are already going for PMP, you are going for the gold standard. You are great people. Why earn your CAPM? There are 90 million people, project professionals, currently employed in industries across the world. 25 million are new project professionals needed to meet global talent demands by 2030. So you see, CAPMs are considered to be new project professionals. They're not really experienced professionals or project management professionals. They are new project professionals, so they are CAPM. So they have the largest demand. They are being employed in bulk all over the industry, and demand is on peak right now. Are you eligible for that? So what do you need? It's very interesting. You need a secondary degree and 23 hours of training, that's all. You don't need any experience at all. If you have a secondary degree, not even a graduation, a secondary degree, and 23 hours of training, you are all set for the CAPM exam. In the CAPM exam, you will have only 150 questions and 3 hours. 150 questions and 3 hours. Fundamentals of project management and the role of project manager, you will get 36% questions from there. From the project environment and project integration management, you will get 17% questions. From scope, schedule, cost, and quality and resource, you will get 20% of questions. From procurement, communication, stakeholders, and risk management, you will get 27% questions. So that is quite simple. That is much easier. And your questions, CAPM questions, will not be classically scenario based. They would be straight away questions from the book, right? Easy questions, straight away questions. But for PMP questions are really tough because they test your experience, they test your knowledge, and they test your application of actual knowledge to skills. So demonstrate an understanding for the CAPM, demonstrate an understanding of the various project life cycles and processes, demonstrate an understanding of project management planning, demonstrate an understanding of project roles and responsibilities, determine how to follow and execute planned strategies or frameworks, demonstrate an understanding of common problem-solving tools and techniques. So this all is covered in lesson number 2, 3, and 4. These are the core concepts, right? Then as far as the predictive project management is concerned, which is plan-based, you may have to explain when it's appropriate to use the predictive plan-based approach, demonstrate an understanding of the project schedule. We don't expect you to create a schedule as a CAPM. We expect you just to have an understanding what is a schedule. Determine how to document project controls of predictive plan-based projects. So what documents are controlled in a predictive project? You just need to know that. This is covered in lesson number 5 and 6. Then as far as adaptive is concerned, explain when it is appropriate to use an adaptive approach. Determine how to plan project iterations. Determine how to document project controls for an adaptive project. Explain the components of an adaptive plan. Determine how to prepare and execute task management steps. So this is covered in lessons 7, 8, and 9. I suppose you will get these lessons, right? In addition to what you're studying here in this class, you should, on your own, go through those lessons, which I have shown you, 12 lessons. And if you have any doubt, any questions, any problem, you can bring to the class or you can talk to me directly.
Okay. The questions are, it's all on the Moodle, so everything is there. I have both courses there, so I have all of the slides.
Business analysis, we have two lessons. We have two lessons in the CAPM syllabus. You must demonstrate an understanding of business analysis roles and responsibility. Who are these people? What do they do? What are their roles and responsibilities? Determine how to conduct stakeholder communication. Determine how to gather requirements, because business analyst does all that. Stakeholder communication, gathering requirements. Demonstrate an understanding of product roadmaps in case of Agile. Determine how project methodologies influence the business analysis process, and validate requirements through product delivery. This is it. This is covered in lesson number 10 and 11. And that's about all. The course is different. This course is different because it's much easier. But if you cover the PMP whole course, you will be much more comfortable because we will be explaining everything threadbare. You are going to work in small groups. This will enable you to capitalize on one another's resources, experience, and skills. And as you ask one another for information, evaluate one another's ideas, and monitor one another's work. So as a CPM, you are supposed to be working like your internees, and internees are sitting together and they can discuss things around. This course is also problem-based, how to solve a problem. People learn better when they are engaged in solving real-world problems or accomplishing real-world tasks. So you are going to be given a series of real-world problems in this course. Naturally, you can see the course and you will find out. Like, maybe, scaffolding is a project. Scaffolding, you understand? When you're putting the shuttering in the organization, in a construction project, so this scaffolding may be used to climb up and down and things like that. Early on, you are going to need considerable support. So this is example of a sport. As you learn, this sport will be gradually withdrawn, so you can learn to do tasks on your own. So we are going to support you, and when you are capable enough, we will remove the scaffolding, and then you have to climb the wall by yourself. What is the problem? Okay, this is a case study kind of a thing. We don't discuss it in the PMP. PMP, we have got a different case study. But the case study you have in CAPM is about a singer, Tracy Faston, and one of the biggest music stars in the world. She sells out soccer and American football stadiums normally in less than 10 minutes. Heading out on a tour, the biggest ticketing company, Ticket Barn, is reviled for its exorbitant fees. Faston has instructed her management to work with a smaller ticketing company called Tickets, right? So they are not going with Ticket Barn, they want to go with Tickets. It didn't go well. So this is the whole scenario. I'm not going to show you all of it, but this is the whole scenario. And this scenario would be repeated throughout in a CAPM lesson. But naturally, I just wanted to give you a flavor. How does the CAPM look like? Now, from now on, you will be with this class and we will be following the PMP course material. But if you are feeling uncomfortable, I can always take separate classes with you. But I can assure you, whatever we will study in the PMP class, this is going to be much better, much more than the CAPM. All the concepts.
Okay.
I assure you, I will clarify.
Okay,
Anyways,
thank you.
with this, we can call it a day. If there are any questions, you can go ahead. Anything from you, Fatma?
No, thank you. I just found the PMB book guides, and we're going to start reading that one.
Okay, wonderful. That is great.
Yeah.
and Calvin. Yeah, good to see you.
I couldn't make it with the computer. Sorry, it beat me up.
Good enough.
No,
Good
it's
enough.
okay. Can we see again your phone number for the WhatsApp? Because I missed the last 3 digits. You mentioned earlier that see you tomorrow,
Yeah.
but this on Thursday.
I'm just putting it on.
Okay. So the classes are Monday and Thursdays, correct?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday to Thursday, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Can you see that now?
Yes.
Um,
2, 5 to 6. Got it.
So you can contact me anytime, no problem at all. So everything okay? Should we call it a day now?
Yeah.
yes, we can.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for your company, patiently listening to me, and naturally, I welcome you for any queries and questions even after this class. So see you again tomorrow at the same time. Waiting for you to see you again. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, thank
Thank
you.
you. See you.
Thank you. Thank you.